So it's 5:30 on a Sunday, and I've been up since 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock, and thought this would be a good time to, rather than write an article or anything, I just thought I'd do kind of like a brain dump and talk about insomnia, which is something I've had for quite some time now, and it's gotten to the point where most weeks I'd say the majority of my sleeping is about 4 hours or so total in a night. And then I have nights like last night, which are quite a bit less. So just thought I'd talk about sleep hygiene, and for those insomnia sufferers out there, maybe some helpful tips. So what most people probably don't realize is that insomnia, the first line treatment is not actually sleep aids. So one of the things that I get a lot when I tell people that I don't sleep well or have insomnia is, oh well, have you tried taking any sleep aids or anything like that? And actually, that's not even the first line treatment. Like benzos or Ambien, the benzoyl compounds are really not recommended, and most neurologists or sleep doctors would shy away from that. At least the ones that I've worked with, and from the literature that I've seen, cognitive behavioral therapy is actually the first line treatment. So for those of you who don't know, cognitive behavioral therapy is basically rewiring your brain to think in a different way than it is currently. So you get a lot of cognitive distortions that occur with many different illnesses, depression, anxiety. A lot of times you'll have different distortions between the different diseases, but insomnia, you start to develop some interesting ones that kind of form a positive feedback loop, which is actually negative in effect, but they feed into each other. So you end up not sleeping well, and you start to worry that your performance the next day is going to be affected, or you're going to be tired, which then feeds into an anxiety, which creates just kind of a vicious circle. And as you lay in bed and stare at the ceiling and roll over and back and forth, you then start to relate the bedroom and bed to bad things. So you start to develop anxiety just around that area. So even when you come in the next day and the next day, that starts to transfer, and so you already get that anxiety before you've even tried to sleep. So it becomes quite a nasty cycle. So that's kind of the cognitive distortion. So you want to work on that. But one of the biggest or one of the best ways to start working on insomnia or poor sleep is sleep hygiene. So that means you want to have a dark room, completely blacked out, no light at all, no clocks. Clocks are a bad thing for anyone with poor sleep, because you're always wanting to look at it, and that doesn't help. That adds to the anxiety. So get rid of your clocks. Move your phone across the room so you can't look at it. Stop looking at screens and blue light emitting things like laptops, iPads, phones, at least an hour before bedtime. You can get, I believe Lux is one of the programs, maybe it's Flux, I'll have to look it up, but for Macs, or you can get blue light glasses that block blue light. They're orange normally, and you end up looking kind of like an idiot with them on, but that's okay because it's going to help you sleep. So you also want your room nice and cold. Bringing the core temperature down helps you get sleepy. So those are just a couple of things. I like to have a fan as well. It provides some kind of white constant noise for me. Obviously it doesn't help too much. So what else? So then the next thing, after you kind of have your sleep hygiene nailed down, then it's time to move on to, well, one of the other parts of sleep hygiene is that you only use the bedroom for sleep and sex, and that is it. Don't work, don't watch TV, don't do anything else, because again, that starts to build an association that the bedroom is used for something else that is wakeful time, and it's supposed to be sleepy time in the bedroom, or sexy time, one of the two. But that should be about it. So then you move into what's called sleep restriction, and that doesn't mean you're going to be not sleeping like all day or things like that, but that means no naps, and that means you want to restrict your sleep hour to 6 hours total at the start, and then you progressively get more time, I guess, in bed as you earn it through good sleeping nights. So you get little bonus points, and then you eventually get enough points, and it's time to get another half hour of sleep. And this goes along with a sleep diary. So you write down basically, you record all your sleep and how it's going, how well, and about how many hours you were in bed and any naps. But again, once you start working on sleep restriction, that means no naps, no matter how tired you are. You are staying up, and this is basically forcing your body to deal with the fact that you are lacking sleep, and it's forcing it to start getting the sleep where it's supposed to be doing at night, not during the day. And then as those sleep diaries starts to show that you are getting more and more sleep in that 6 hours, then you start to get a little bit more time, and then eventually, hopefully, you're back to a full 8 hours, and you're doing good. Another part of that is if you can't sleep for more than 20 minutes, it's time to get up and leave. So get up, get out of bed, go somewhere else, go to the couch, grab a book, grab a really boring book, so don't get yourself all wound up. Read something that will put you to sleep, like the newspaper or something on economics, I don't know. Whatever subject you find boring, pick that up and read that. Don't turn on a ton of lights, but as long as it's not a blue light emitting type device, then you're okay. Yeah, so those are just a couple of quick tips on that. I'm sure I missed some stuff, but forgive me, I've been up for 2 hours already, and it's a rough way to start Valentine's Day. But that's alright, I got my fiance up too, so. And then sleep, why you should care, other than feeling, lousy when you don't sleep. It has a lot of bad health effects. You're going to have a lot of negative consequences. So obesity has been tied to it. Sleep apnea is something you should probably look into too if you're having problems sleeping. You should evaluate that along with insomnia. That's just kind of a side note. Yeah, so it can affect hormonal levels. Testosterone for males can end up dropping. Blood sugar control starts to go out of whack. Your recovery, just in terms of stress, memory, cognition, just really everything. It really kind of totally affects your body system-wide. So getting sleep is quite important. It seems like it shouldn't be, but it certainly is, and it will start taking life years away from you as you lose sleep. So I can basically watch my life slowly getting shortened, but I'm banking on the miracles of medicine to do amazing things for me as I age, I guess, since I figure I'll have to be a bionic person considering my poor joints. So yeah, so that's this morning's White Coat Fit little talk about insomnia and sleeping. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you can hear it as well. I'm trying to keep quiet. There's other people sleeping still. And have a great Valentine's Day. Remember, bedroom is for sleep and sexy time.